Hello guys, two major Russian oil export ports were seriously damaged and stopped operating after the visit of Ukrainian drones to Tuapse and Novorossiysk. Before the attack, these ports were able to export approximately 2 billion barrels of the bloody Russian oil that fuels their war machine, but not anymore. And this is a beautiful development of our strategy to paralyze their economy by destroying their oil refining industry. And now, apart from targeting their oil refineries, we also neutralize ports, we neutralize plants, we neutralize pipelines, thus demonstrating the vulnerability of Russia and that a smaller country can effectively defeat a larger bully. And another strike resulted in serious destruction of Gazprom petrochemical plant in SALAVAT, Bashkortostan, that is very far away from the Ukrainian border. So let's discuss all of these explosions and how they actually lead us to peace. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe and share these videos to spread the truth and demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and all freedom-loving people. So, according to the official reports, both by the Ukrainian army and the Russian authorities, serious explosions rocked ports of Novorossiysk and Tuapse. Novorossiysk, many of you recognize because it is also the headquarters of the leftovers of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Yes, the one we totally destroyed in Crimea, and they had to escape with what was left to Novorossiysk in Russia. Previously, they had these headquarters in Sevastopol. They were neutralized together with warships and submarines. But Novorossiysk is also an important oil export port terminal. This is a huge, expensive infrastructure that was destroyed by Ukrainian marine and aerial drones. And here again, we come to a very important observation that the modern war, the war of the 21st century, is the war of drones. And Ukraine knows how to do the job. And perhaps we are the only country on the side of NATO, on the side of the democratic world, because others, Russia, North Korea, are kind of on a different side of history. So Ukrainian drones targeted Novorossiysk and in particular that terminal of the Caspian pipeline that brings Russian oil to the global markets. And here I have a question. Why countries keep buying Russian oil knowing that Russia uses them to target not just Ukraine, but now also to escalate, to visit NATO countries with drones and MiGs, which are fighter jets? And here I have to agree with President Donald Trump, who actually asked the EU to stop buying anything from Russia, including gas and oil. And I believe it's pretty logical, taking into account that since recently, it's more than obvious Russia is preparing for war against the West, not just Ukraine. And Ukraine knows how to prevent that by defeating Russia, by paralyzing its war facilities, military facilities, and of course oil refineries and oil terminals, depots, and pipelines. So another important strike took place in Tuapse. This is also a city on the shores of the Black Sea because it's a port, because it's used for the export of the Russian oil. Unfortunately, not enough attention was paid to the Russian shadow fleet, and they kept selling these products pretending they are not Russian, when literally every sane buyer knew what they were buying. Witnessing attacks on Ukrainian cities, witnessing hybrid attacks on European cities, witnessing Russian interference in the political affairs around the world, businesses kept buying, not understanding that this way they destroy their own societies. And thus we protect the world from the expansion of this Russian influence, military or hybrid. And in Tuapse, this was also a part of the Russian oil export system, and both extremely important ports are now closed for a very long period of time. There are lots of videos, lots of reports, and lots of very surprised Russians that keep counting the number of destroyed oil refineries, the number of burned pipelines, depots. I'm not mentioning everything. Subscribe to witness how the map of fuel shortages expands inside Russia. Demilitarized oil refineries, military arsenals keep growing inside Russia. Share the truth. It's super important. Unfortunately, even a lot of people who support Ukraine still view the world through this Russian-centered focus. It's very wrong. And here again, I will quote Donald Trump, Russia is a paper tiger. But you, my beautiful friends, subscribers, we've reached 350,000 friends around the world, often say that Russia is not just a paper tiger, but a toilet paper tiger. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a very polite girl, but a used toilet paper tiger. Anyway, we witness their inability to protect strategic objects. Because trust me, they don't want to lose the oil refining industry. They already destroyed Gazprom, Lukoil, Avtovaz. They destroyed Aeroflot. And I'm saying they because it was Putin's desire to begin this war. It was millions of Russians who supported the idea. They never imagined it could return back to dozens of Russian regions and Moscow. Serious explosion rocked the city for 2 days with paralyzed airports. This was unbelievable just a war ago. But look at us now. Ukraine changes. Ukraine becomes stronger, and Russia keeps failing and spending more and more billions on the destruction of itself. And the Ukrainian drones visited for the second time in a row an important Gazprom facility in Bashkortostan, in SALAVAT, that is petrochemical plant. It was visited by drones on the 18th of September, and now we repeated the visit to finish the job. And once again, this proves they can do nothing. They know we can reach it. They witnessed explosions and problems, and they could not prevent the second visit. And perhaps more visits to more locations. That is the weakness of the bully, and even Donald Trump sees that. I don't think it will change a lot, but what can change a lot is the Ukrainian attitude, the Ukrainian drones sent to the Russian military locations to bring peace, to bring messages of peace. We can describe it that way. So what we witness right now is that Ukrainian strategy is very wise, very creative, very logical. And we paralyze their war machine by destroying their basic industries that bring bloody money to the Russian military budget. And like everybody's safe. And what Russians keep doing by attacking Ukrainian cities, stealing Ukrainian children, destroying our schools and hospitals is not a strategy of victory. That is violent, that is awful, that is very bad, but that's not a strategy to win. That is just evil. That's why I'm asking you to share these videos, to comment these videos, to make them more visible to those who still do not know or still have doubts. In the world of YouTube, in the world of Google, we are obliged to fight for freedom, to fight for the truth, and to give people access to the information from inside, from Ukraine. And that is why, again, I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to follow me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Discord, Threads. All the links in the description of this video, same as the link to our merch shop with lots of really good products that remind people about Ukraine. And also remember to subscribe to my Anna Danilchuk channel with longer discussions about important topics. And for example, in our recent video, we talk more about provocations and escalations of the Kremlin against Europe and the world after the meeting in Alaska. And it's actually a demonstration that Putin believes he can do whatever he wants without any serious punishment. But he closes the eyes on the reality once again. He believed Blitzkrieg was possible, he failed. He thinks the Russian Federation can survive this exhausting war, but once again, he will fail. And I know you know that, but it's super important to remain united. And I'm really happy that right now Ukraine is the country that, apart from fighting the evil, apart from asking for your support, can also provide support to your countries, to your military, to your defense knowledge. And I'm always happy to read how in Poland, in the Baltics, in the Nordic countries, more and more centers where Ukrainian military share their experience are opened. You taught us at the beginning of this war, and there are lots of skills that we are ready to share now, and maybe this will protect you. Maybe this will save more innocent lives, and this will bring lasting peace by defeating and demilitarizing Russia. Please let me know in the comments below, how would you describe the Ukrainian strategy on oil refineries in Russia? And now it's not just refineries, it's also ports, it's depots, it's pipelines. How would you name it? It's interesting to know. And thank you so much for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!